What is up, guys, and welcome back to GameBird Classic. Today, I've brought you some of my favorite Nintendo content creators, or as I like to call them, prediction-based lifeforms, to bring you their top predictions for Nintendo's first Direct of the year. We've got SkySwordsAlisa, we've got ThunderStash Gaming, we've got Attack the Backlog, SunBro Nation, and AndresRestart. Whose predictions will reign supreme? It's too soon to tell. Make sure to like and subscribe each one of these fantastic content creators because listen, without them this video wouldn't be possible. Thank you guys so much, but without further ado, let's cue the intro. You're watching GameBird Classic. One more thing. Don't forget to hit that like button and smash that subscription button so you guys can be notified when I upload brand new videos. Take it away. All right, before we jump into our first guest, I do want to say a lot of these submissions came in to me before we had solid evidence that this was going to be a partner showcase, so some of the predictions may lean into regular Nintendo Direct territory. That being said, I've got one prediction for you to kick off this video, and that's going to be a brand new game from Platinum Games, a company that's had amazing support on Nintendo hardware. I don't think it's going to be Bayonetta 4, I don't think we're quite there yet, but I could see either Astral Chain 2 or a brand new IP from them. But without further ado, my friends, let's bring in my friend and fellow co-host on the Nintendo podcast, ThunderStash Gaming.
What's up, friends? Steve here from ThunderStash Gaming. I'm also the co-host of the Nintendo podcast alongside GameBird Classic, Nintendo Prime, and Eric Moore. Now look, I could give you guys safe, conservative predictions, but that's not very fun. So instead, I'm going to rapid fire a bunch of things that I expect to see at this Nintendo Direct or the very next one, all in under 3 minutes. So start the clock. First up, I think we get quick updates on a lot of games we already know about. Borderlands 4, Elden Ring Tarnished Edition, Witchbrook, Enter the Gungeon 2, Super Meat Boy 3D, The Dustbloods, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, Ys 10, Proud Nordics, Wandering Sword, Volunteer the Ascension, Eterna Lucis, Monster Hunter Stories 3, and Lift It. We already know Resident Evil 7, 8, and 9 hit Switch 2 on February 27th, and while those are confirmed, I expect a quick mention here that leads into more Resident Evil titles confirmed for Switch 2, and we should finally see what that amiibo looks like. I also think we see Silent Hill 2, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, and Castlevania. This is Castlevania's 40th anniversary, and after the Anniversary, Advance, and Dominus collections, it feels like the right time for a new Castlevania project. On the Xbox side, I think support continues with Halo the Master Chief Collection for the 25th anniversary of both Halo and Xbox. Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, I think the previously released Killer Instinct and Battletoads get a port. We get a release date on Indiana Jones, Starfield, South of Midnight, and the Oblivion remake. And yeah, a wild card that won't happen, but totally should, like a Flight Simulator Pilot Wings crossover. Then there are quick hit possibilities. Fallout 4 timed with the show's Season 2 finale on February 5th, Tales of Berseria Remastered, Pragmata, Mario plus Rabbids Collection, Dragon Quest 12, maybe Monster Hunter Wilds, and quick mentions of games like Bubsy 4D and Little Nemo, already confirmed for Switch 2 and releasing soon. For RPG fans, I think this Direct or the next goes big with Metaphor ReFantazio, Monster Hunter Rise, Kingdom Hearts Collection, a reminder that Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is out, and Square Enix popping in to once again confirm the entire Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy for Switch 2 with a small rebirth update. I also expect more Switch 2 edition upgrades. Octopath Traveler 1 and 2, Hollow Knight, The Witcher 3, Tony Hawk 1+2, Ninja Gaiden Master Collection, and Kingdom Come Deliverance. Nintendo-wise, I think we see Splatoon Raiders, something Smash Bros. Related, either a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Switch 2 edition to hold fans over, or a brand new Smash Bros. Announced, maybe Mario Kart DLC, though that feels more like June for the 1-year anniversary, Pokemon's 30th anniversary acknowledged ahead of Pokemon Presents, Zelda's anniversary mentioned for the year ahead, and a quick nod to Virtual Boy NSO launching February 17th. And I do believe there's a chance we could see the new 3D Mario and 3D Zelda Remake Remaster at a Direct this year. Nintendo is setting the tone for a massive year with Switch 2, and honestly, I'm 100% here for it. My body is ready. I hope yours is too.
My body is ready.
Love those predictions, ThunderStash. I mean, if even half those things come true in possibly Thursday's Direct, I think we're gonna be eating good, especially from a third-party standpoint. This is something that a lot of us have been wanting on Nintendo hardware out the gate. So very exciting there. But now, my friends, let's take it over to the legend, the man with a million theories, my friend AndresRestart. Take it away, brother.
Hey everyone, this is AndresRestart, and I'm actually unsure about what I should be predicting for this upcoming Nintendo Direct that we're expecting in early February. And that's because I'm not sure if this is going to be a partner showcase focused on just third-party announcements, or if this is going to be a general that has both third-party and first-party announcements. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to at least predict the announcements that I think will be there regardless of what kind of Direct it is. And the biggest one, the Duskbloods. I think that's going to be the biggest third-party thing we're going to see in the show, because we're going to see more of this game from Software. It's going to be a huge exclusive for Switch 2 this year. I think we're at least going to see an update in terms of more footage and a better understanding of when it's coming out. At least a release window. Fingers crossed we get an exact date for perhaps this summer. Now, beyond the Duskbloods, I'll also say I think we're probably going to hear about more Resident Evil games. In particular, I'm thinking we'll finally get confirmation of Resident Evil 4 Remake coming to Switch 2. Now, if we're lucky, and we do get a General Direct next week, I'm going to predict that we're also going to get confirmation of the expansion pass to Mario Kart World. And I think we'll get multiple waves, would be a whole new area with like 6 tracks, and you can drive seamlessly between them, there'll be warp points, and it'll be awesome. So that's what I'm willing to predict for now.
Two fantastic predictions from Andres, whether we're getting a mainline showcase or a partner direct. And guys, I think Duskbloods is a winner for sure. This is a game that's really big, it's really important, it's FromSoft, having an exclusive on Nintendo Switch. And as a hardcore Dark Souls fan, as a major Miyazaki and FromSoft fan, this is a game that my hype dwindled a little bit, knowing that it's a PvPvE, so this is the opportunity to sell us on what makes this game special, what makes it unique, and if there's anyone who can do it, it's Miyazaki and FromSoft. But now, before our next guest, I'm going to throw another little GameBird prediction out there for you. And that's going to be that we'll finally get a release date trailer for both Deca Police and Professor Layton, two games that I think are really going to thrive on Nintendo Switch. But now let's take it over to our next guest, friend of the Nintendo podcast, SkySwordsAlisa. Take it away.
Hello, I'm SkySwordsAlisa. Firstly, I want to say thank you, GameBird Classic, for inviting me to do this predictions video. Now, for my first prediction, I expect to see Clair Obscur Expedition 33 make its way over to Switch 2, already available on all the other platforms, and for those who come after, what else is after? Switch 2. Now, we already got our thank you update back in December during the Game Awards, so I think Switch 2 port's kind of like what they have coming next. I absolutely adore this game, and it made me go. But jokes aside, this game is fantastic, and I want it to be made available to those people that only play on Nintendo hardware, because it is truly a game that is worth playing. And I don't even like turn-based games, and it captivated me. My next prediction is going to be Age of Imprisonment DLC. I feel like we need some Ganondorf lore, and to celebrate Zelda's 40th, this would be a nice little add-on to the game for players to jump back in. However, if the Direct does not end up being this rumored partner showcase, I think we could see Triforce Heroes, and while I honestly try to forget about that game, I think it would see much better success on Switch 2 than it did back on 3DS. It makes sense as a way to help promote the new game chat feature and have fans join up together in the Zelda universe. Now, my last prediction is more just for fun, but I'm gonna go out there and say Okami 2. We haven't seen this game since the Game Awards in 2024, and it was just a little teaser, it wasn't really much. It's kind of just like get people hyped. Capcom and Nintendo have worked well together for many years. The first title was on Wii, the HD version was on Switch, Okami on the DS. Capcom's already going heavy with the support on Switch 2 with titles like Resident Evil 9, Monster Hunter Stories 3, and Pragmata. They're all coming day and date to Switch 2. This is the kind of game that fits the Nintendo audience and would get people hyped for a non-first party game, especially if this is just a partner showcase. It's kind of that game that like brings it's got like the Nintendo charm in the feel. And we could see this game in any showcase. It doesn't necessarily have to be a direct, but I wouldn't rule out seeing it in a Nintendo direct. But those are my predictions, so thank you GameBird again for having me on. Back to the Birdman.
Thank you for those predictions, Alyssa. I think you nailed some of them, especially Okami 2. This was going to be one of my predictions. I know you say it's just for fun, but you're right. Capcom is a company that has a fantastic relationship with Nintendo. We're already getting Resident Evil. We're going to be getting the new Mega Man. Maybe we'll even see that here. I don't know. It's not till 2027, so we'll have to wait and see. But I think Okami just makes a lot of sense, and that's a game that would generate a lot of hype. Okami, it's my favorite Zelda-like. It's definitely in my top 25 games of all time, so fingers crossed, and maybe, just maybe, we get an actual look at the game or some gameplay. But now, let's take it on down to my friend, the man who praises the sun, SunBro Nation. Take it away, brother.
Well, first off, I want to say a huge shout out and thank you to the Birdman himself for inviting me to be a part of this Nintendo Direct predictions video. Also, I did submit my video portion very last minute, which did allow me to get some of those new headlines you've been seeing fly around suggesting that this upcoming Direct should indeed be a partner showcase. This comes to us from Nate the Hate, so I am in the mindset that that's what we are going to see. So in turn, my predictions list will all feature third-party game announcements. And I have to kick it off with Xbox because I think that they're going to be bringing a lot of stuff to the Switch 2 this year, but I specifically want to predict Halo the Master Chief Collection making its debut on Switch 2, going multi-platform for the first time, in fact, outside of the PC, because while Halo Campaign Evolved is indeed slated to come to PS5 and Xbox on the same day, and that may be there as well, I think Nintendo gets the Master Chief Collection revealed for them at their event, and obviously it will naturally make its way to PS5 as well, but I do think that this could be the floor and the showcase that Microsoft finally brings a banger collection of games in Halo Master Chief Collection, and I really hope we see it. While we're talking about Microsoft, Doom: The Dark Ages, it's a game from Bethesda that, if you just look at the history between Doom and Nintendo, it's gonna make it over at some point. I think this is the perfect showcase to reveal it, and it would make a lot of sense in my mind for them to actually do a relatively quick drop of the game, maybe even a shadow drop announcement, and or, you know, it's out in a couple weeks or next month, something like that. I don't think we get a huge ramp up to this game coming out. I think we get an announcement, and then we see it turn around and drop relatively soon after it's confirmed. So I'm hopeful for that as well. Next up, I think a couple games from EA will be making it over in the way of Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, both of which are fantastic titles, especially if you are a fan of the Dark Souls, Elden Ring, FromSoft style of combat with some dodge roll mechanics, but you're playing with the lightsaber. You do have a skill tree of different abilities you're unlocking. A really cool story is unfolding throughout. You're traveling between different planets. I think Jedi Survivor definitely elevated the formula of these games. But yes, I can see these here, and I can see both of them potentially being released in a combo pack as opposed to them dropping individually. And then I think we're going to get the confirmation sometime soon at a different event of the third installment in this franchise. But yes, the Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, both of them are in the leak rumor mill conversation from sources like Nash Weedle, and I think here would be a great presentation to see them. We recently got announcements of Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis, and Catalyst out in 2026 and 2027, but a Switch 2 logo was missing. These Tomb Raider games look fantastic, the visuals are top notch, and I'm very excited to check them out. I hope I can do it on Nintendo hardware, and I do wonder if it's one of those situations where it's maybe not day and date with the other versions, but it at least gets announced. And I think that a partner presentation, it would make a lot of sense to say it's coming to Switch 2, and hopefully, if we are lucky, we do get a day and date release with the other versions. But Nintendo is known to sometimes want to hold back specific announcements for their own events, and these are the type of games that I think could get an updated trailer and a look at the Switch 2 version of them, and we do get confirmation that they are headed to the platform. It just makes logical sense to me personally, and I certainly hope that they are here. The last few games are definitely my most anticipated and hyped titles that could and likely will show up at this event. At least one of them I'm very much predicting will be here. But we have to first kick it off with my 2025 Game of the Year, which is none other than Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And keep in mind, I'm saying it's my 2025 Game of the Year in a year where Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong Bonanza came out, which it kind of shocks me to say that out loud, but that's how good this game is. I am not even a big turn-based RPG guy, but when I tell you guys this has some of the best story I've ever played through in a game, some of the best real-time combat and reaction times for a turn-based formula that you don't normally expect, with the dodging, the parrying system, and just how immersive they make you feel in the turn-based combat with the menu layout. And when I tell you it's some of the best music in gaming, period, Nintendo fans need to experience this firsthand. The game won all the awards for a reason. While some will tell you it's overhyped online, I actually think that it deserves all that hype and then some. And fortunately, Nate the Hate has indeed heard that this will be coming to Switch 2 in 2026, so it's a little bit of a safer prediction. It might not be at this upcoming Direct, but we're going to get it sooner or later, and I think this Direct makes perfect sense to see it happen, so I'm very hopeful to see Expedition 33 there. From there, we have Elden Ring official release date, because you guys are probably familiar that we did get the 2025 keys at the first look trailer when that game was announced for Switch 2. We're in 2026. We still don't have any updates on it. We know the game's performance was a little bit rough. It had to have some things ironed out when it comes to the frame rate. Largely at the last playable demos, it seems like most of that stuff has been smoothed out, and I think it's time to get a hammered home release date and an updated trailer of this thing, and I think it happens here. I think we get a pretty quick turnaround, to be honest. We're probably talking within the month of March, no later than that, for a release date, in my opinion, because while that will be exciting to see at the event, the bigger 2026 From Software title is indeed the Duskbloods, and I do think that makes its 2026 launch target, and I think we get the updated trailer and at least the time window of release. We might get a fall or a summertime, if we're lucky, release window for this game. This is described as a PvPvE game, which is very interesting because FromSoft does not typically do this, although I will say that I have over 155 plus hours in Elden Ring Night Rain, and they pulled off a co-op focused PvM game at a masterful level, in my opinion. I just have that same level of trust in FromSoft games as I do in something like the Zelda team. For me personally, they've just proven me right so many times. Whenever I go into a game with high expectations from them, I can pretty much take it to the bank that I'm going to have at least 100 plus hours of enjoyment out of any piece of software that they drop in the modern day, and it is literally that every single time. So I personally cannot wait for the Duskbloods. We need to get a more detailed look at what the gameplay loop is really like. It sounds like there's going to be something where players actually have different goals they're going for, so they might be more PvP focused, where they're trying to kill other players in the real world and be the last survivor. There will also be other players that are working together to take out bosses, and entirely different world events that are happening that change the goals of what you're supposed to do for everybody. So Miyazaki, the mastermind behind Dark Souls and Elden Ring, is at the helm of this project, and it's a Nintendo exclusive. It's a huge deal. It's Nintendo published, but it is From Software developing the game, and I think it's here, and I think it's likely either the show opener or show closer. It's that big of a deal for Nintendo. I personally cannot wait for it, and obviously, while we won't expect first party announcements at this presentation, there is still a lot to be hyped for, in my personal opinion. So big thank you once again to the Birdman himself for inviting me, and I hope you guys enjoy this upcoming Partner Direct presentation.
Love those predictions, SunBro, and I love that people have doubled down on some of the same predictions here in this video. I think that just adds a little bit more fuel to the fire, and it's because a lot of these third-party games just make so much sense to land on Switch 2. Now, before our next guest, we've got a couple more predictions. We've heard RPGs mentioned today. We've heard Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We've heard Metaphor ReFantazio, but I've got one more for you because I really think that the Switch 2 is going to be an RPG powerhouse, and that's my favorite, the best, actually not my favorite, the best, objectively the best Persona game of all time, Persona 4 Revival, the remake with an updated engine. This is a game I cannot wait to play. We need it on Switch 2, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it here. But now, we've got an amazing guest, a man who has probably more insight than anyone else here, and a man who probably won't share much of that insight in this video. But, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you ATB Attack the Backlog.
Hello friends, first of all, let me quickly just say a massive thank you to you, GameBird, for having me on your channel in this awesome collaboration video. You know, I think you're awesome. You've been on my own podcast, so thank you so much for having me here. With that being said, let's start with these Nintendo Partner Showcase predictions. I'm going to start off with Microsoft games because I think it's about time we got some. And the first one I'm going to go with is Indiana Jones. Yes, my friends, I think we're finally going to see some footage. I think it's going to look amazing. And I think we might even get a date for it. So that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm going to predict. The second Microsoft game I'm going to go with is Doom: The Dark Ages. This is more of a hope, but, you know, I think it definitely is coming to the Switch too. Maybe this will be the time that we see it, but I think it's going to be a ways off, so I don't think there will be a date, but I think it's going to look amazing. The third Microsoft game I think is going to show up is Hi-Fi Rush, and this is a game, of course, that has been rumored a lot for the original Switch, and I think it's definitely coming to the Switch too, and I think it will even have a date. The second round of predictions, my good friends, will be all about Switch 2 editions. I'm going to try and be a little bit bold with them and kind of will into existence what I want there to be. And so I'm going to say that I hope and predict that Bayonetta 3 gets a Switch 2 edition and Astro Chain, aka the best game on the Switch, gets a Switch 2 edition. And why not? I'm going to say Doom 2016 and Doom Doom Eternal, Switch 2 editions. Now then, my third prediction is a crazy one. You're going to have to go bold. And this comes via Kiwi Talks. And I'm going to predict that his WTF game will make an appearance here. What game do I think that is? I'm going to stick with what I've always said, and that is Horizon Zero Dawn, my friends. Yes. Why do I think it's Horizon Zero Dawn? A few reasons, obvious reasons. One of them is that, of course, it's an older game. It came out on PC as well, and we all know that we got the Lego version of the game on the Switch. So I think it's a prime game, a prime WTF game that could come to the Switch too. I can already hear Kiwi laughing right now. But there you go, my friends. Those are my predictions. And again, once again, thank you so much to you, GameBird, for having me on. And I'll catch you all soon. Bye.
Hell yes, ATB, I love your prediction of Hi-Fi Rush coming to Switch 2. It's a game I fully expect to see on the console this year, and I think it makes so much sense to be in this first showcase. And I also agree that we're going to be getting some more Microsoft stuff on Switch 2 this year. That'll be exciting to see, as well as the potential PlayStation games coming to Switch 2. Hell yeah. But guys, I have a few more predictions for you that I think have a strong chance of landing in this direct, starting with Mina the Hollower, one of my most anticipated indie games right now from Yacht Club Games, the team behind Shovel Knight, one of my favorite indies of all time. Played the demo, it kicks butt. Cannot wait to see what they have fully in store for us with this one. Next up, we've got Onimusha, again, bringing it back to Capcom. Onimusha was one of my favorite series growing up on the PlayStation 2. It's one I've been dreaming about getting a new entry for, I can't even tell you how long. It's been over a decade. So seeing that get revealed at the Game Awards was a very special moment, and I just think it would be so cool to get that game on Switch 2. Hopefully, it happens. My last prediction is that we'll see a better look at Project M from Bloober Team, a game that's really caught my interest, especially after they said that fans of Eternal Darkness will appreciate it. What could that be? I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. But what are you guys expecting to see? What are you hoping to see? Sound off in the comment section below. I wanna hear your thoughts, and I'll see you all on the next GameBird Classic. Peace.